Welcome back to our podcast. On today's episode, we're going to talk about Young Thug's trial. We are going to talk about the charges he was charged with, the things that were used in court against and for him, his plea deal, and multiple other things. The reason why we want to talk about Young Thug's trial is because we are big fans of his, and we think his trial was not fair, and he was not treated fairly. I am with my two
colleagues.
Present yourself.
All right. So I will present myself. My name is Elias Gemrier. I'm an underground rapper named JD's. So I'm on this podcast because I was getting charged. Yes, sorry. So I was getting charged, and I'm a big fan of Young Thug. So that's why I wanted to be on the podcast. Thank you.
My name is Nicholas. I'm 17 years old and I'm a very big Young Thug fan, so that's why I want to be part of that podcast to talk about him and what he did.
Finally, we have 3 extracts, so 3 topics that each one of us are going to cover, and we will ask multiple questions about the subject. And yeah. Okay, the first extract is mine. The subject is Young Thug's plea deal. For y'all who don't know what is a plea deal, it's like I said, a deal, but like Young Thug, he pleaded guilty to the charges he was charged with. So the jury and the judge decided to not put him in jail and put him on probation. But yeah, plea deal, he can go live normally in his house and all that, but there's multiple restrictions like probation and relationships he can have. So I'm gonna just resume the new subject. Young Thug, also known as Jeffrey Williams, he changed his plea, so his say for to guilty, which resulted in a plea deal, like I said. Changing his plea caused him to not go in jail. Because normally people were charged with gun-related charges and have no contest in going to jail or not. The judge, called Whittaker, sentenced him to 5 years in on probation. 40 years. He sentenced him to 40 years, which included 5 in prison, which he already committed before he got out. And 15 years probation that could turn into 20 years in custody if the probation is not followed. So example, if one of the restrictions is he can't visit a certain city and he does, he has to serve 20 years in prison, and there's no the probation has many restrictions. In fact, he cannot have any relationship or talks with certain affiliated gang members. He cannot collab with other artists that are maybe included in gang-related activities. And he can access the city of Atlanta, where he committed the charges. He can only visit it a couple of times. Also, he needs to do a certain amount of community service and talks about how gang violence is bad for the kids and all that. After a couple of months after the plea deal was served, Judge Whittaker let Young Thug collaborate with more artists that wasn't allowed before when the plea deal was first made. This wasn't included in the original plea deal because the lawyer of Young Thug, so Brian Steele, fought even after the trial for the fans and permitted Young Thug to make music like we love. We have actually multiple questions about the plea deal, and I'm going to ask my fellow colleagues. The first question, okay, is: do you think plea deals like the one Young Thug received are a fair way to handle legal cases, including involving celebrities? Let's start with you.
With me, it's my pleasure. So,
You see,
thank you. So, yes, I think plea deals like the one Young Thug received are a fair way to handle legal case, because with this deal he can still continue to make his music, his passion, what he loved the most, and keep his way of making money.
yeah.
Do you need more things?
Yes. Okay. Do you think certain celebrities, like other like example, like YNW Melly, do you think he should be treated the same way, or do you think it should be different because his charges are way different than his?
Yeah, if your charges are worse than his, then yes. Like, for example, Young Thug was just involved in gang violence. But if you're a murderer or something like that,
But
I don't think.
don't you think gang violence is also like murder? Because
Yeah, but he didn't kill them, but he was involved.
yeah,
It's
he
not
was
the
like
same degree.
he was the leader of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's not the same degree.
Okay.
I think,
Take a seat.
like you said earlier, I think when you said that Young Thug is not a murderer because he lead the gang and tell him to kill people for him, like at his place. So I think it's as bad as killing him by yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're asking someone like a lower grade than you to do it for you. I think is as bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
I understand.
Okay. Do you personally, my opinion is that plea deals like the one Young Thug received are a fair way to handle legal cases, because celebrities, like certain celebrities have a purpose in life. Example, artists, they might help certain people with their music and like influence people with their dreams. So I do think legal cases including celebrities, it's a good way to handle it. But example, if you talk about a normal citizen which has no impact on the world, on multiple people, I don't think yes, you could have a plea deal, but I don't think it's gonna be that often depending on the case.
Yeah.
My second question is: do you think a plea deal would be a better sentence than an actual jail sentence? So let me give you an example, okay? Do you prefer spending 5 years in prison or 20 years on probation?
I think it's better the probation, because especially for Young Thug himself, because if you take his example, like he's a celebrity, so if he goes to prison, people might recognize him and treat him differently than other prisoner. It might be better than other prisoner, or worse, depending on if they like him or not. So I think for him, it's way better to go plea deal than go to jail. And for me, I would prefer to go on a plea deal because I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah. What do you think?
So you want me to take a seat or?
I guess.
So, I think yes, a plea deal would be better than an actual jail sentence, because for me, like I've seen a lot of documentaries about like prisoners saying that the worst thing there is, like, you're cut off from the rest of the world, like you don't know what's going on, and when you're in prisons you can get killed, you can get raped, and I don't think I want this to happen to me. So that's why I think a plea deal is better than a jail sentence.
Okay, my third question, okay? Do you think Young Thug's sentence is too harsh, just perfect, or not right at all?
I would like to know your opinion.
Okay, I think the sentence is just right. I feel like jail will not be the best option, but probation is good. Yes, the probation might be a little too harsh, but the charges are kind of bad, so the time of the probation is considerable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you want to go or?
I can go. I think the sentence is just as perfect because I think it's a good way to learn him his bad actions so he can do better in the future. Because I think if the sentence is too easy on him, he will might do it again because he like think, oh, the consequences are not bad anyway, so I can do it again.
Right.
You want to answer?
Yes, but I had a question first. What is the sentence that Young Thug has?
Okay, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
it's 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
5 years in prison, but he already did,
Mm-hmm.
and 15 years on probation, but the probation, if it is not followed, it can be 20 years in prison.
Alright.
Well,
Well,
example, if he does the probation and he's on year example 12
Mhm.
and he misses like something, like he doesn't follow it, he has another 20 years in prison.
okay, not on probation, in prison.
Yeah, in prison.
Yeah, so I think it's just perfect, to be honest. Like, I don't think it should be too harsh. Consider like he already done 5 years in prison. He's doing 15 years. I think it's more than perfect, and I don't think it's too easy either.
Okay. So this is it with my extract for the Young Thug video.
So now it's time for my extract. So to make it simple, the extract is about the fact that Young Thug made a plea from jail to make people sign the Protect the Black Art petition. This petition was signed by 300 Entertainment co-founders and CEO Kevin Lyles. So there's a lot of rappers that
Continue. A lot of rapper that.
Yes, sorry. So, a lot of rappers showed their support to. A lot of rappers showed their support to Young Thug. Like, for example, the Drake song Sticky. And yeah, so. The first question. Was it a good idea for the rappers to show their support to Young Thug? Why?
I'll answer that.
Can you answer? Take a seat.
Of course. I think it's a great idea because I think it depends on the fan base. So if the rapper that support him has this almost the same fan base as Young Thug, it's a really good idea for promote like the Young Thug fan base will like, oh, he supports Young Thug too. Don't so. I will continue to support him and maybe even more. So I think that's a great idea. But if it's a completely different fan base, I don't know about this one because if his fan base don't really love Young Thug, I don't think it's a great idea for their career. But I think in general, like in the process, it will not really affect the process. Like the judge doesn't care about this. I don't think it will affect the process itself.
Right. How about you, Raoul?
Okay. I think it's a good idea for rappers to show the support because first of all, example, if a rapper shows his support, his fan base is going to like take a look at the trial, and more people will maybe not like not argue, but like they will pay more attention, and maybe the jury might like not change their idea, but take in consideration maybe how big of an impact that Young Thug has. I can give you an example. Example, Drake in his song.
Sticky.
No, not Sticky.
No,
Falling Back. He has a music video where I'm not gonna explain into detail what like the video consists of, but
we can recreate the scene if you want.
no, it's okay. He shouts out Young Thug multiple times in the video, and yeah. So yeah, what do you think? Do you think artists should?
Yeah, because I don't think it's hurting anyone to show your support to such a a good person. Like he said, keep pushing positivity.
Okay. What's the second question?
Yeah. So can I have the seats?
No, I'm
For the-
gonna answer it after.
I'm more comfortable with the seat.
Just say it, please.
Alright. So, do you agree with the statement hip hop is not respected as an art? Because black people in this country are not recognized as a full human beings made by Killer Mike. Why?
Okay, I don't.
I would like to start with Nicholas, please.
I'm good.
Okay.
I would disagree with that statement because hip hop is respected as an art because, like, if you ask someone what do you think about hip hop, who made it, they will of course say black people because black people are the really center of music. Second of all, I do think black people, black people are recognized as full human beings, but yes, of course they have maybe like some problematic, but I do think like they're considered human. Like who wouldn't?
course.
Yeah.
So, how about you, Nicholas?
For me, I think the statement will make more sense in the 90s, like in the beginning of hip hop popularity. So I think it will make more sense because it's more in the old time there was more like in
Racism?
yes, racism against the artists that rap and do hip hop. So right now, I don't think people doesn't recognize them as full human being because why would it be different as us? Like they're clearly like us. So yeah.
So,
No,
last question.
No. What do you think about the statement? Just give a brief answer.
Yes. So, my take about this statement is that I think he is not right at all. Like, all the big figures of music are black people, and I don't think it's true that it's not recognized because black people are not recognized as full human beings because we have already black people as a figure of authority. We have already made a lot of progress in this subject, so no, I don't agree with this statement. So, for the last question, do you support Young Thug?
Of course, I
course,
support
no?
him. He's one of
Like
my
saying
favorite artists.
Like say
Why wouldn't I support
Yeah,
him?
but like people are saying separate the art from the artist. Do you agree with these people?
Okay,
Yes,
yes, of course, okay. His charges are bad, okay? But like, I'll give you an example, okay? Example, if your brother got charged with murder and then he got out, would you still love him?
Of course.
Exactly. It's the same case
Yeah.
for Young Thug.
Young Thug is like my father.
Yeah, I understand. He's like my husband.
The story goes that I'm going to talk about is talking about Young Thug lyrics that are being used against him, like the song "Anybody" with Nicki Minaj. He said in that song, "I never kill anybody, but I got something to do with a body." So that means that he got something
That's
to
the
do with a
bar.
body that's dead. So these are some of his most streamed songs, and however, most listeners were not disturbed by those lyrics. In fact, most people, including experts in lyrics analyzing, are saying that he's just speaking the truth of the world and using rap to tell everyone about the gang wars and difficulties around that subject. There's also a small video of an interview with a specialist, and it talks about guns, good action in the community, and how he's not represented the same as he really is. Like, he's represented as a gang member and a really dangerous person, but he really is not.
Okay.
So that leads to my question. So why are those songs like Anybody used in the Rico trial?
Alright, so I think maybe because it's like King Von, and sometimes he tell like the crimes he did on the song, and they think maybe Young Thug's gonna do the same. He's gonna say his crimes on the song, so I think that's why the songs are used.
Okay, I think songs are used in the RICO trial because, first of all, the judge has to take in consideration what Young Thug has said in the past. And yeah, so example, if Young Thug said, like, the song about Young Thug which talks about killing, of course the judge has to take that in consideration and question his team about it. But I don't think it should be in the trial because maybe Young Thug just like decided that like what like he was saying is just facts and made sense. But we have to separate the art from the artist
Of course. I agree with you.
in this situation.
So, how are those lyrics not acceptable?
I think maybe people will say like it's inappropriate, or like there's too much vulgarity. But I think like it's not relevant. Like you know what you're getting into if you're listening to him. So yeah.
Yeah, so why do you think the listener doesn't care about the lyrics, but the judge do care? What's the
I
difference?
think maybe it's a difference in age. Like, I don't think old people really like to hear these. Like, they think it's too much, like,
Yeah.
violence. So I think they can't, like, really love this song.
Okay, the lyrics are not acceptable because, like I said, maybe he doesn't need it, maybe he does, we'll never know, but we can't use like the lyrics as 100% proof that he committed the crimes he did. It's only speculation, and only Young Thug knows that. So if example, he did talk about
His crimes.
his crimes, maybe he would like I said, doesn't mean it, and yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you think they're acceptable?
I think personally it doesn't disturb me while I'm listening to Young Thug, but I don't think in the law views is really acceptable because he's talking about killing people, about I have sex with your wife and other things like this. So I don't think it's really appropriate in the community, and it can sometimes cause people to do violent act and everything.
Yeah.
So that leads to my other question. So why is Ghana not being represented as he really is, and what did he do?
Okay, I have a question. Can you tell us what he did? Because we don't
So
know.
Ghana, an expert that already meet Ghana before, is saying that Ghana did a lot for the community and did good actions around him. So the judge doesn't seem to care about this, but he said like Young Thug is Ghana is a gang member and he's only a bad person and deserve to be treated the same as Young Thug. But why is he saying that, and why is he including him in the process?
Okay, Young Thug, of what I searched, Young Thug was included in the gang that was led by Young Thug. So Young Thug has to be taken into consideration about what he did. Maybe he did not. He just like I don't think he's there. He's not being represented because based off the questioning before the trial, I don't think the police and the jury like thought much of what he was saying, and maybe thought it wasn't worth the money and the time to being represented.
Alright. So me personally, I think the judge is saying that so like he lose credibility. Like people will only think of him like a criminal. So like they will say like, oh, for sure he did all of those things and all. So that's why I think the judge is only saying like the bad things he did and not like all the good he did in the community.
Yeah, so y'all think they're trying to use him like as a in the process to help them prove Young Thug's
Yes.
aggressivity?
Yes,
Yes.
I think.
Yeah. So do you think that just doing that is bad?
Just doing what?
Bad.
Doing that is bad?
Like
Like
Stop.
including
Right. that's it for today's episode. Like we said, we covered multiple subjects, the main subjects about the Young Turk trial. I hope you all like the subject, are more intrigued in the subject, and maybe start listening to Young Turk because he's really a good artist. And yeah, so we see you all in the next episode, and we're gonna talk about ASAP Rocky's trial.
Yeah, ciao ciao.